Okay, it is time for the World Jigsaw Puzzle Championships finals. If you missed my last two videos, I went over all of the quarterfinals and semifinals. And today, I'll be covering the individual final, the pairs final, and the teams final. If you're new here, the rules are very simple. Everyone gets the exact same puzzle in an opaque bag, and when they say go, you open it up, and whoever finishes the puzzle first is the winner. For the individual final, we have 90 minutes to solve a 500-piece puzzle. And for all of these final rounds, all of the puzzles used are from next year's puzzle catalog, so none of us will have ever done them before. And once again, today's video is sponsored by Ravensburger, and they also sponsored me and my camera person, Valentina, to go to Spain. So a huge thank you to Ravensburger for helping to make this video series happen. All right, it is just about time for the big one, the individual final. Oh my God, I'm nervous. I'm going up against everyone, all the fast people here. I need to sit down. Oh wait, I'm literally right here. Look at this, I'm right here. I'm right there, I'm right by the people. Why am I right by the people? I don't want to be right by the people. Oh no. No, I thought I'd be like in the middle there. Hey Doug.
Hello.
How do you feel about being on camera?
In a few minutes, we will start.
Good luck, Karen.
Good luck. See you on the other side. Okay, this is it. I remember thinking, this is what I have been unknowingly training for my entire life.
Good luck to you all. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, puzzle! Good luck to you all.
Oh no, that's hard. Oh no. Oh boy. Okay, so we have sky. I'll do sky. We have blue chairs. So that's probably what I'll end with. I don't even know. I'm just gonna throw sky up here. My second sky of the day. And we're off. So this is the puzzle we were given. A very tricky one, especially with all of those chairs down at the bottom. So at 4:45, we can see Kristen is starting to work on the sky. At 5 minutes, Alejandro has the entire sky edge done, and it looks like he's pulling out the rest of the sky pieces to get that knocked out. Kati is also doing the sky. It looks like she's also started on the line between the sky and the building. And Andrea is also doing the sky. Do you guys see a pattern here? Okay, so at 9 minutes, Alejandro has the entire sky done, and it looks like he's starting to work down into the foliage. Just as a comparison, this is where I was at the exact same time. Kristen has done the exact same thing. We'll have to see if they keep on working in the exact same order. Sarah has pulled out the sky pieces, but hasn't put them together. And she was very open about how this was not her kind of puzzle, and she really struggled with it. But what was my strategy? So I started by flipping and sorting out edges and also sky at the same time. The blue was easily the most distinct color, so I just threw all of those pieces together. And that took me about 4 minutes. Then I did the bottom part of the edge, which was easy enough. But then I think this was a mistake. I was really worried about my pieces getting mixed up with Doug's, so I moved all of them over to the other side of the table, but it was kind of cramped over there, so I really should have just left them where they were. Then I did the sky, and I remember thinking that I was being so clever for doing the entire sky before I finished the edge, until I looked at all of this footage and I realized that literally everyone did the exact same thing. So I finished the sky at about 12:20, but let's jump back and see what everyone else was doing. Okay, back to me. As you can see, my pieces are spilling into my puzzle. I did not utilize my space properly. The next thing I did was grab the roof texture and I started making piles of all of the foliage. And then I was able to get the puzzle closed off. And then it just felt like a sea of brown. I really didn't know where to go next. There were different textures in the building, but you had to look closely to identify them. Okay, so at 20 minutes, I just want to show you this wide shot so you can see how nerve-wracking it is for the top puzzlers. On the floor are tons of volunteers, the live stream cameras, representatives from Ravensburger and Guinness World Records, a British documentary crew, and my camera person, Valentina. Alejandro and Kristen are puzzling to a huge audience, so it is incredible that they can stay so focused within that. So when we hit 30 minutes, let's just not even talk about this. My progress was so slow, especially when we cut back to Alejandro and Kristen. So Alejandro has officially moved into those chairs and tables, the hardest part of the puzzle, and so has Kristen. They are seriously neck and neck. So for the second year in a row, Alejandro is the Jigsaw Puzzle World Champion. And literally 33 seconds later, Kristen gets second. She was so close to winning. She did amazingly well. And I also want to point out that last year she was a full 7 minutes behind Alejandro, and this year it was only 33 seconds. So it was a much tighter race, and I hope that she feels proud of what she accomplished. And back to Alejandro, he is truly a jigsaw puzzle master, being the winner 2 years in a row. I am just so happy that he found this hobby and shares his talent with all of us. But okay, back to the competition, because the rest of us are still puzzling. When Alejandro won, this is what I was up to. Still quite a ways to go. So a bunch of very fast puzzlers are battling it out for that 3rd place trophy. So it's Marquetta who gets 3rd. She wasn't even at Worlds last year, so it is incredible that she came in and did so well. 19 seconds later, Andrea finishes for 4th, and 6 seconds after her, Mercedes finishes for 5th. So 3rd through 5th were within a minute of each other. And then checking back in with me, now that people are starting to finish, I got the building done and I'm finishing up the last little bits before moving on to the chairs. While I'm working on that, Teresa finishes for 6th, and she had a whole cheering section. Then at 46 minutes, Kati finishes for 7th. She said she was feeling so much pressure going into this round, and she wasn't right at the top this time, but 7th place at Worlds for her first competition ever is still an amazing accomplishment. And then 18 seconds after her, Kiara finished for 8th. Meanwhile, me and most of my friends were still plugging away at those chairs. And I knew going into it that I would be hearing a lot of finishes while I was still working. I was actually the least nervous for this event because for the quarterfinal, nobody really knows how they're gonna place against each other. For the semifinal, I was really nervous about just making it into the final. But for this one, I wasn't trying to qualify for anything. I kind of knew my skill level compared to everyone else. So I think I was much more calm compared to the other rounds. Okay, so hitting 51 minutes, I was getting so stuck with all of those chair pieces. So I did kind of a shape sort. I pulled out all of these standard shape pieces, and that way I could do all of the corners and squares first. Someone said afterwards that the trick for this section was to look through the chairs and just put together the background behind them. I didn't think of that, and I really struggled with these last few pieces. 55:43. Oh man, that was hard. What do you think?
Great job.
What place was I? Were you following along? Anyone? All right, well, I guess I'll wait. Okay, well, I guess I'll wait and I'll find out. 35. All right, 35. Not quite my goal, but very close. I can't believe I still have to do another puzzle today. What was your time?
52:36.
Oh, you were 3 minutes ahead of me. All right, I'm going to reload the leaderboard because I was puzzling. I was not looking at the screen. I assume Alejandro won because they were shouting his name. And then I'm down at 36 at 55:43. Literally 7 seconds apart from the person right ahead of me, who is Sophie from Denmark. I'm fine with that. I beat an hour. I beat Doug sitting next to me, which was kind of my secondary goal. Doug very often beats me on online contests, so like he's very fast too. Oh, what a rush. So it's 5:45. When does pairs start? 7? So we have an hour and an hour and 15 minutes until pairs starts. Okay, so that was a very exciting match. We did end up with the exact same top 2 as last year, but they were much closer together this time. And I ended up in 36th place. Not quite my goal of getting top 30, but I can now say that I am the 36th fastest puzzler in the world. So let's take a look at all of the data. So here is the top 15. You can see how Alejandro and Kristen were so close together and significantly faster than everyone else. Also, there's no 15th place because 14th place had an exact tie. I also made a chart with the top 40 because I just wanted to get myself in there. So you can see that once we hit 48 minutes, it was just constant finishes, one right after the other. Now here is everybody, and only 4 people didn't finish this puzzle, and all of them were close to finishing. So this was a real competition with only fast puzzlers. I also broke it down into 10-minute blocks, and you can see how 72 people finished within 10 minutes of each other in the middle there. A huge shout out to all of the volunteers who must have been running around like crazy, writing down everyone's times. Then we can see how the positions changed from the semifinal to the final. Placements really did get mixed up, which makes sense because the semifinal puzzles and this final puzzle were very different styles from each other. I also thought it might be fun to look at the country breakdown for the final. The US had the most people make it through, followed by Spain and Germany. So now that we've done all of the individual rounds, we can look at the top 15 finish times combining all of the puzzles together. And look at this. Alejandro is on there 3 times at 2, 4, and 5. That's incredible. And then here are the top 50 finish times if we combine all of the individual puzzles together. All of them except for the lightning puzzle are represented here. And this is where the final puzzle slots in. Lots of fast finishes on that one.
And it's time for the pairs final in this World Jigsaw Puzzle Championship 2023.
Evie, how do you feel?
I feel good. I'm ready to do hopefully a fun puzzle.
So for the pairs final, we have 2 hours to complete a 1,000 piece puzzle. Last year, Teresa won this event with her partner Katerina, who couldn't come this year. It was a difficult puzzle, but they finished it in just over an hour, and about half of the pairs finished it within the 2 hours. Plus, after we got a challenging but doable puzzle for the individual round, I think all of us had very high hopes for this event. Just look at those smiling faces, having no idea what is to come. I also want to remind you that this was the 3rd event of the day. We had already done the team's semifinal and the individual final, and now it is 7 p.m. of that same day.
You ready?
Bag, box,
Okay.
bag, box.
I'm doing bag.
No, bag, box.
Okay, great.
Box top.
Oh my god. Ooh, wow. Okay. How do we even sort this?
Well, the yellow.
Definitely yellow at the top. Let's do blue stripes and blue
That didn't
blue
go
stripes
so well.
and blue squares. But I'll start with edge. There's like a bluish and a purpley, like a lilac.
Yeah. There's those 2 sections.
Yeah. And then there's some like a checkerboard down at the bottom.
I'm gonna say, I hope I don't regret it, that this is a fine type of puzzle for me. I'm good at like tiny bits of color.
Okay, so just look at this puzzle. This is crazy. The colors repeat so much. It is so hard to sort out big sections. I knew as soon as we opened this box that this was going to be a very long puzzle solve. So here we can see Soraya pulling out those yellow edges. That's where we started too. Then you can see both Alejandro and Gisela working on different parts of the edges. Honestly, at the beginning, it just looks like a big jumble of pieces for everyone. So let's skip ahead. At 11 minutes, Alejandro and Gisela have most of the edge in place. And interestingly, it doesn't look like they're using any trays. At about 13 minutes, I had finished the top edge, but we were missing a few edge pieces, so I abandoned that and I started trying to get some of the solid yellows in place, which was one of the few parts that was easy to sort.
One thing to keep in mind, if you're a Karen fan, don't worry. Yeah, I'm looking right now at her camera person. Valentina's here and she's taking some footage. She's been here all weekend and just getting a massive amount of footage and interviews and fun content. And so you're gonna have to watch for those Karen Puzzles videos in a couple of weeks, or hopefully, as soon as she can get them prepared. Maybe a little longer than that. She's gonna have a lot to dig through, but you're gonna get to see a lot of great content on her channel.
You're in for a treat.
Yes, you are.
So at just about half an hour, you can see how the top was looking pretty solid, and Evie had some big sections that she was working on over on the tray. So once I finished the yellow pieces, I just had to pick a section and jump into it. Luckily, Evie had done a bunch of sorting already. She is so good at spotting small details and sorting them out. Oh, look at this though. I am very stressed by Kristen and Siv's puzzle. They just have all of their pieces scattered within their puzzling area. I have no idea how they kept that all straight. But I love how Alejandro and Gisela don't have any rogue pieces within the borders. They're already working on a few big sections and sort of getting them in the right area. Same with the Annas, they're getting a bunch of sections in place. But Kati and Sarah are just like Kristen, with pieces all throughout. Meanwhile, Evie and I did kind of a mix of both. We had all of the pieces down under the puzzle, which meant we couldn't connect all of the edges for a while. I also want to give a shout out to the audience. This puzzle was very slow going, which meant watching it in real time was not the most interesting, but people hung around for the entire 2 hours. Oh, also, I heard about some puzzlers who were a little disappointed that they didn't make it into the pairs final, but then they saw this puzzle that we got and they were just like, yeah, actually we're good. All right, so we're at an hour in, we are halfway through. This is where I was really starting to get worried that we just would not finish this puzzle. I was also getting so tired. It had already been a very long day, and this is just not my kind of puzzle, especially for speed puzzling. I think I would enjoy it, just doing it slowly on my own. But trying to do it for speed, everything was just blurring together, especially now that we had done the easiest and most distinct parts. So comparing us to Alejandro and Gisela, their puzzle is looking way more filled in. Unsurprisingly, they're doing great. So as we're hitting an hour 20, Gisela and Alejandro are doing incredibly well. They are further along than anyone else. And by this point, it was honestly not even feeling like a competition anymore. It was like we were all in the trenches together, and I think all of us were just rooting for someone, anyone, to finish and prove it could be done. Alejandro and Gisela who got first place. I think that was the loudest applause of the entire competition. And look at how exhausted they look. So now we have 30 minutes left, and a handful of other teams are also starting to get close. Here's where Evie and I were when they finished. That 2-hour mark was getting closer and closer, and I really did not know if we were going to finish. Also, I want to point out that by now the sun had gone down, so for most of us, it was the first time that we had to puzzle under artificial light.
Sorry. Okay, we can finish, guys.
Oh my god, I don't know if we can. Everything is just blurring together for me. There's so much glare now.
Sorry, I'm like getting punchy here.
Yeah, oh, I think everyone in this room is.
What do we think about sorting by shape?
Yeah, I was starting to think that. If you want to get started on that.
Oh, she's freaking out. I gotta go read the chat. I gotta. Lisa, where are you? Lisa, where are you? I gotta go read the chat.
So, by now we have the top 4 finished. At this point, there were 11 minutes left, so we were really feeling the pressure. If you don't finish the puzzle, they rank you based on how many pieces you've put in. So now that we had them shape sorted, we were just trying to get in as many as we possibly could. Oh my gosh, with 7 minutes to spare, Andrea and Clara finished for 5th. Ah. Oh my god. You guys have no idea how much I am screaming at myself to puzzle faster as the seconds are counting down. But with 4 minutes left, the Reuters finished for 6th. And right after them, Alyssa and Tiffany finished for 7th. Then Soraya and Gabi finished for 8th. And with less than 3 minutes to go, the Annas finished for 9th. So now we are seriously down to the wire and we are in the home stretch. Oh no, no. I see where a piece goes. I see it. I want to put it in. So we didn't quite finish. We had to count up our pieces by stacking them in groups of 10.
35.
35 left. That has to be pretty good. A lot of people look like they have a lot more left.
Yeah.
Another 5 minutes, we would have had it. Probably like 3 minutes.
Yeah, like, I mean, we could time ourselves now.
Yeah, we should just, after it's all official, we should finish it and time ourselves. Okay, we're going.
Okay. All right. Well, now we messed up our sheep sort.
Yeah. Let's put everything all on one board.
Yeah.
A minute and a half and we would have been done. Less than 90 seconds.
So, what's the status? What's the recap?
At some point we were like, let's just finish. And then at some point I was like, I don't know about that either.
That was incredibly hard. We loved it though. We were dancing halfway through. We made a song about just getting threes. We were like, 3, move on. 3, move on.
Are you still going?
Yeah.
Why?
I still want to finish. I cannot leave it unfinished. We're so close.
Okay, so we didn't finish. We were so close though, 35 pieces left. So here's the situation. 9 teams finished, but everyone from 4th to 10th gets a little cube. So that 10th place cube was up for grabs for whoever was closest to finishing the puzzle. And I wanted that little cube. But it took them a while to get the piece counts uploaded to the website. All night long, we were just refreshing the results page and nothing was showing up. So I had to go to bed not knowing if we got 10th place or not. But then they did put them up sometime overnight. And so I woke up to a text message telling me the news. So I didn't get that on camera, but I did get this on camera. We got 10! We got 10! Oh my god, this is too much. It is early.
Sorry, go.
Trophies. Not little boxes, trophies. So we got 10th place and I got a little cube. I want to give all of the thanks and credit to Evie for this. She did incredibly well at this puzzle. I was so exhausted. I was seriously fading, but she is so good at detailed puzzles like this. She just kept us on track, kept our energy up, and we ended up on the podium. So I'm going to show the awards ceremony at the end of the video, but for now, let's take a look at the stats. So here is not the top 15, just the top 9, because that is everyone who finished. Gisela and Alejandro were way out in front, and actually, Alejandro didn't lose a single individual or pairs event this entire competition. So now we can look at everyone, and this isn't the most interesting chart. So let's flip it around and do this chart, but as piece counts. You can see that I split it up by every 100 pieces. So it is clear that a lot of teams really struggled with this one. So if we look at the top teams by piece count, right under us was Sarah and Tobias. We only beat them by 7 pieces. We only got our cubes by 7 pieces. And the people under them, they only beat by 1 piece and 2 pieces. That is wild. So then we can look at how the order changed from the semifinals to the finals. A lot of people stayed right up at the top, but Evie and I jumped past a bunch of them to get 10th.
Good morning, Emma. Good morning, everybody. And welcome to the final day of competition in this World Jigsaw Puzzle Championship 2023 in the world.
That's me. All right, we have made it to the last event of the competition, the team's final. If you remember, my team got first place in our semifinal, so we got put at table number 1. And just like the semifinal, we have 3 hours to do 2 1,000-piece puzzles. However, this time, everybody gets the same 2 puzzles, although you can do them in whichever order you like. Now, if you remember last year, they had to do a 1,000-piece puzzle and a 1,500. And the 1,500 had that huge sky. It was so hard for all of the teams. So I think everybody was a little nervous going into this event, especially after seeing how hard that pairs puzzle was.
¿Estáis preparadas? ¿Preparados? 5, 4, 3,
We're just right into it.
1.
Adelante, equipo, suerte.
Okay, which one do we want to do first?
Oh gosh.
This one.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Here, give me that.
That one looks way easier.
Okay, edges first. How are we sorting?
Yeah.
I would fully just do this for fun.
Oh, 100%. Well, I mean, we say that now.
No, but there's a lot of different textures. They don't blend into each other, so I think it's good.
Honestly, the other one doesn't look awful either.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have to like hustle.
Fine art, we got this. It looked like a Chagall or a what's the other guy?
I don't think the artist really matters right now.
It does not at all.
So here are the 2 puzzles. As soon as we saw them, I think we all just let out a collective sigh of relief because they are definitely doable within the time limit, unlike the puzzles from last year. So we started with the Puzzle People puzzle, which does have a lot of small areas and repeating colors, but it's not nearly as hard as the Paris puzzle was. Also, look at this Instagram post from the artist. She designed this puzzle specifically for this competition, and she watched my recap videos last year, and now I'm here doing her puzzle. So less than 2 minutes in, we had done enough sorting that I could get started on the edges.
Oh, okay. I'm not really a fan of that.
What's happening?
It's outside. It's
Oh. But then we started hearing this drum beat. So there was a marathon going on the same day, and they had a drum beat outside. So for the rest of this event, you may hear it in the audio, but I actually didn't really mind. It kind of made the whole event feel more exciting, like we were in a movie or something. So a couple minutes in, let's see how the other teams are doing. The Arctic Puzzlers are also doing Puzzle People, and so are Las Chicas Checas. You can see Teresa working on all of the bright red pieces. And I love how Puzzle Hustle are using these lunchroom trays. That lets them keep all of the pieces off of the main puzzling area. And they started with the art puzzle. Ectila are also doing the art puzzle. This puzzle has a lot more color sorting to do up front. And Nonstop is doing the Puzzle People puzzle. They are so organized. Look at all of those little piles of pieces. Okay, I feel like I'm missing edge pieces. Okay, the edge is done. It's just not all gonna connect because we're missing a couple. So as we hit 20 minutes, you can see that my team has a lot of good floating sections, and it looks like our progress is about the same as the Czech team. That's really the only way to do this puzzle, to just make little sections of each texture and follow along with the box to get them in place.
Do you have that striping, Michaela? Because I have more pieces of that. Yeah, here. Take this board because, yeah, he's like, he goes around a weird thing. Do you want another board over here?
Oh!
Can you put the other board over there? It's fine, I got it.
So coming up on 30 minutes, you can see that we have made so much progress. We're at the point where instead of having islands of pieces, now we have islands of empty spots that just need to be filled in. And look at this, I think all of us were very intimidated by nonstop, but at 31 minutes, we are definitely ahead of them. I wish I had known this in the moment. It would have been such a big confidence boost. And to try to explain what it's like in the moment, I was laser focused on this puzzle. As we got closer and closer to the end, my entire being was just engulfed in spotting a piece and trying to find where it goes, or spotting an empty space and trying to find the piece. It's like the most complete tunnel vision you can imagine, especially since no one had finished a puzzle yet, and we knew that we were getting close.
We're missing this one. Oh. Yeah.
Which one?
Well, the blue one that stands out.
Wait, we're missing this one.
No.
Where else? Where else?
There.
Wait, whoa, got it.
No.
Got it.
Oh, done.
Box top is under the table on your side. You have to put it in.
Oh, wait, where did the pig thing, are we just gonna, it's fine.
Okay. All right, woo!
Edges again?
Yeah, and do we need to do them first, or is it a
Let's at least sort them.
Well, yeah, of course.
And then we can sort by color.
Yeah.
Oh my God, my back.
Preserve.
We're at 41 minutes.
Oh, that took longer than I thought.
So the Misfits were the first to finish a puzzle at 40:51. We had to immediately take it apart and then get started on the art puzzle, which definitely looked more difficult. Then the Czech team was the second to finish a puzzle. They were less than 2 minutes behind us. So then Anything's Puzzleable was the third team to finish their first puzzle, and Nonstop was fourth. Notice how all of the first solves are the puzzle people puzzle. It was definitely easier than the art puzzle. So the strategy for the art puzzle is just to do a lot of color sorting. You can see me on the edge, Evie on blue, Sarah on yellow, and Michaela on orange. And here's a look at the puzzle again. This is a good one for a competition because there are very distinct sections for each person to work on. So then at just about 54 minutes, the Super Nanas are the first team to finish the art puzzle. So as we're hitting an hour, I had swapped seats with Michaela, and I took on the orange dog. I did some shape sorting, and I was able to just knock that out. Oh my gosh, look at how well the Czech team is doing. They just jumped straight into that green, while all the rest of us left all of the green for last. Over on our table, you can see Evie working on that, and she did some shape sorting, which is just what you have to do when there's a big area of one color. Also, at this point, I really think I spent too long getting the last few orange pieces in. I should have just moved on to a new section instead of obsessing over a couple of pieces. So then I did finally move on to just kind of miscellaneous. There was a lot of green, so I tried to put in any pieces that had anything on them besides green. At this point, we're up to an hour 20, and we are neck and neck with the Czech team.
I feel crazy saying it, but
Start doing it.
I have never asked for that before in my life.
So it was Las Chicas Checas who are the team's world champions. They did amazingly well. A huge congratulations to them. So after they finished, we knew we were close. We just had to do that last little bit.
we beat Nonstop.
Hey, yeah, and Puzzle Hustle.
So we got second place, the second fastest puzzling team in the world. I think that's pretty good. After we finished, we posed for a lot of photos. Honestly, this was all such a blur. I truly have no memory of what happened here. So while we were doing all of those photos and celebrating, Nonstop finished for third. After Alejandro dominated all of the other rounds, I think us and the Czech team were so surprised and excited that we beat them. But I mean, still, third is really good, so a huge congratulations to them. About 5 minutes later, Ektyla finished for fourth, and literally 2 seconds after them, Puzzle Hustle finished for fifth. I love these super close finishes in these competitions. A minute later, Anything's Puzzleable finished for sixth. And oh my gosh, look at this frantic search for a missing puzzle piece. That is so stressful, but Sister Squared ended up getting ninth. And I think the prize for the most tears of joy goes to For the Sake of Puzzles, featuring 8-year-old Alma.
Amazing. Oh, yes. Amazing. Number 10. Top 10. Oh, she's 8. You're top 10. You're top 10. It was so much fun. I feel like we're having fun sharing it. This is fun. I was doing. Sleepless nights. Oh no. Valentina, thank you.
I'm on Coast to Coast Puzzlers doing their commentary in that because it's just getting to see Ava, and then but you caught up. You caught up. Yeah.
I don't know why. How we do it.
Okay, and I'm going to give you the mic now to say something a little bit to the people back home.
Anetko, ahoj!
Zdravím domů, do práce a všechny, kdo nás podporujou, díky. Taky zdravím všechny na chalupu, díky za podporu všem rodině i kamarádům. Jste skvělí.
Děkuju celé rodině, ahoj všem přátelům, co fandili, ahoj.
So after we finished, we hopped onto the live stream for an interview, so I'll link that down below. And then Katie's team was also in this round. They did the art puzzle first, and they finished it at 152. And then they got 626 pieces placed in the Puzzle People puzzle.
It's been really lovely being here with you all, and I hope you've enjoyed it, and see you next year, I guess.
Yes, we hope
Thank
so.
you.
Yes.
5 seconds to go.
Congratulations to all the puzzlers.
So that's it for the World Jigsaw Puzzle Championships 2023. You can see how while people were still puzzling, they were already breaking down tables and setting up for the award ceremony. But before I tell you guys what all of the prizes are, for one last time, let's take a look at the data. So here is the top 15 with the split between puzzles included. You can see how the art puzzle took longer than the puzzle people puzzle, and so a lot of placements changed after the first puzzle. Now here's everybody, and looking at that river of teal through the middle, again, you can just see how the art puzzle took way longer. So unlike last year, when only one team finished both puzzles, this year, 68 teams finished both of them. So if we take a look at the top times for just the puzzle people puzzle, the Misfits were number 1, but the Czech team and Nonstop were both faster than us on the art puzzle. Then we can combine the semifinals and the finals to see who had the fastest time for 2 1,000-piece puzzles. And it was still us, the Misfits. Only the top 3 teams from the finals made the top 15 overall. Now, if we look at the fastest solves of each of the teams' puzzles individually, it was a pretty even split between all of them. Well, except for the Paris puzzle. So here is where the puzzle people puzzle fits in, and here is where the art puzzle fits in. And then here's a look at how the placements changed from the semifinals to the finals. Every single team in the top 15 of semifinal A made it into the top 30 of the finals, but semifinal B had a lot more mix-ups. So, after all of that, I'm sure you're wondering, what are the prizes? What do you win for being the fastest puzzler in the world? For each category, 4th through 10th place gets a glass cube and puzzles provided by Ravensburger. 3rd place gets 250 euros and a trophy. 2nd place gets 500 euros and a trophy. And 1st place gets 1,000 euros and a trophy. But that's not per person, so for teams and pairs, you do have to split up the cash prize. But everyone gets their own trophy. Also, some of the puzzle prizes were the Karen Puzzles puzzle. How funny would it have been if I won my own puzzle? So, starting with teams, a big congratulations to all of the 4th through 10th place finishers. 3rd place went to Nonstop.
From the United States, the Misfits.
Then in 2nd place was my team, the Misfits.
There they are, the silver medalists in the team's competition. And here we are from the Czech Republic, the World Jigsaw Puzzle Champions in the team's event, Las Chicas Checas.
Fuerte el aplauso para ellas.
Huge round of applause. They clawed back a 2-minute deficit after the first puzzle. And here they are, Teams Jigsaw Puzzle Champions 2023.
Moving on to pairs, Evie and I got to go up again for our 10th place win.
So 10th place in the pairs competition from the United States, Karen Kavet and Evie Cannon.
And then another big congratulations to 4th through 9th place. 3rd went to Teresa and Marquetta. 2nd place was Sarah and Michaela.
And here we go. The pairs champions in the World Jigsaw Puzzle Championship this year, annihilating the competition. From Spain.
Desde España, Gisela Arran Toro, Alejandro Clemente León, campeones del mundo.
A round of applause for quite an amazing display on what was the most difficult puzzle of the week. Well done to Alejandro and Gisela.
And finally, in individual, a big congratulations once again to the 4th through 10th place finishers. 3rd place went to Marquetta. 2nd place went to Kristen.
And the winner, the fastest puzzler in the world.
Campeón del mundo.
consecutive year from Spain. Here he is, the world champion once again. It's Alejandro Clemente.
La cúpula de pie, nos rendimos ante el campeón del mundo.
Could not be more modest. And there he is, there you have the world champion puzzler of the World Jigsaw Puzzle Championships 2023.
So I came home with a cube and a trophy. Here is a closer look at both of them. I'm gonna have to find a really special place to put them. So on top of that, for teams, we won 500 euros. However, since I was being sponsored by Ravensburger to be there, I really didn't think it was right to accept a cash prize. So I let Sarah, Evie, and Michaela split up the money 3 ways. For the pairs prize, I also got this Snoopy graffiti puzzle, but I gave that to Valerie's husband because he said it was the only puzzle he wanted from the entire weekend. And also, I did not have room in my suitcase, so I was happy to pass that along to him. And then I also won this paint by numbers kit. However, again, I did not have room in my suitcase, so I gave that one to Evie. So before I go, there were a couple more kind of random things that just didn't fit into the videos. First, let's take a look at all of the puzzles used during the entire competition. Interestingly, it is way more illustrations than photos. And a big topic of discussion over the weekend is that there was no fur. There were no photos or illustrations of animals. So here's a look at the software that they use to enter in all of the results. The volunteers write down the finish time on a piece of paper, and then that is physically brought up to the person on the computer who enters in all of the data, and then it shows up on the website. Oh, so after the quarterfinal round, Kati and Alejandro decided to play puzzle chess, and this is so crazy fast. I wish I could have been there to witness that. A fun fact about the individual final. So Doug, who I was sharing a table with, he actually went to college with my sister Katie. They went to this tiny school, so they knew each other like 18 years ago. And now we're in Spain sharing a table at the World Jigsaw Puzzle Championships. It is a very small world. And finally, I went out to dinner with the Australian team, and they gave me a little present. Oh my gosh, well, I can't wear it this weekend.
Karen, what does it say on the back?
It says, Karen, World Jigsaw Puzzle Championship Spain. Well, what do you guys think? Am I an honorary Australian now? Check out the back. They put my name on it and everything. I love Australia. I would love to go someday. If I ever go, this is what I'm wearing. So if any of you want to take part in next year's World Jigsaw Puzzle Championships, they already announced the dates. It'll be September 17th through 22nd, and registration is going to open on January 1st. Do you think you can be the next Kati who's just gonna show up and blow everyone away? It's time to get some puzzles and get practicing. So a huge thank you to Ravensburger for sponsoring this video and sponsoring me to go to Worlds so I could make these videos for all of you to watch. And of course, a huge thank you to everyone on screen now. Those of us doing the puzzles are only a very small part of this. It takes a lot of people to make this event happen. So let me know in the comments what you all think. Do any of you think you could have finished that pairs puzzle in under 2 hours. We were so close! Your code word for the comments will be second, because we won second place, our first time competing as a team. So thank you for coming along with me into this journey into speed puzzling. Make sure you're subscribed because I will have lots of other puzzle videos coming out very soon. And I will see you all in the next one.